Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Catch Up with Mayo Saturday afternoon. I'm a little earlier than I usually am. I try to get these times here going when it has to do with my girlfriend. I like to pick her up from work when she works on Saturday. Anyway, based on that, when she's getting off is when I start my show. Usually, I start at about 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. Eastern. Today I had to start at 3:30 Eastern because I got to get there earlier for her. But anyway, I try to do this every Saturday. Saturday, more or less, is the day that I do this, and I always look forward to it. And I hope we'll have some people here with some comments, some questions. We already have people here lined up, so let me say hello to some of them. Hello, Mr. Woodhaven. And we have Henry here. I say hello, but as I was waiting to go live, I saw this, which there's always different ways you get the news of somebody's passing or who breaks it to you first. And I hadn't known about this, Henry. It's the first I'm seeing this. Diane Keaton has passed, huh? Wow. How old was Diane Keaton? You think of her all the time as being young, but time does march on. Hello, Ramoga, and hello, Gary. Hello, Mike Waljasper. And good morning where you are, I guess, Robbie Detroit's Vinyl, and Matt Stickman. My walk was good. I try to walk just about every day. I try to. Okay. Harold says, hello, Joe. I played the Men Love Avenue today. Do you like it? I haven't played that album in a long time. But I do like it. It's a good album. It's got some good songs on it. Rock and Roll People, Here We Go Again is on there, right? I do like it. John Lennon, for those who don't know. But when it comes to some of the sessions that are on there, I have some bootlegs of the Walls and Bridges sessions that have more complete takes of some of them. Like Steel and Glass, for example, which is on Men Love Avenue, is longer on the bootleg. So I kind of like that. And I suspect that we'll get a lot of treats from the Lennons when we get to 2027 as we get Walls and Bridges. Hello, Anthony. Wow. Okay. Diane Keaton was 79. It's funny. These days, I just feel like if you don't make it to at least 80, you have to hit 80, at least, but thank you, everybody. Dr. Rick, hello. Okay. Hello again, Mr. Woodhaven. Hello, Yorkie Girl. Hello, Harold. Oh, we said hello to Harold. So, 1-1 2 CD set arriving today. From what I understand, that's the case. DJ, yeah, Scott, right? I want to get the names right, I think. Yeah. So, Annie Hall. It's funny because I was at my record store today. There's a young guy there that he's a teenager, and he was talking about Woody Allen in the movies. He never saw any, and he just said, I was thinking of watching Annie Hall. And I said, yeah, Annie Hall's, if you've never seen any Woody Allen movies, Annie Hall is a good place to start. I said, also, Sleeper is good. It just so happens that both of those movies starred Diane Keaton. And I just happened to mention them. Nobody knew that she passed. I don't even think this young person, even knew that who Diane Keaton was, or that he was in these Woody Allen movies he was mentioning. Okay. Okay, you've been a flurry of activity recently. You must be feeling good with all these live streams. Well, while I do enjoy very much doing live streams, otherwise I wouldn't do them. Too many. I don't like overdosing on them. And today, like I had a live stream over at my other channel this morning, my channel that right now is called Mayo's Retired Life, but may be changed in the future. Please subscribe if you haven't. I did that with Danny. We did a little chat yesterday. I did a live stream here with my friend Anthony and Doc Dacus and Tim Allen and Peter Boothroyd. Wow. I think you're right, Henry. I think you're right. I guess that's Power to the People. My Power to the People box set is beautiful. The 2 LP set had a deep scratch causing skipping on the very first song. One thing that pisses me off is lack of quality control. Now that you bring that up, I have it. I have the vinyl. I have the four vinyl LP set that I was gifted by the Lennon estate. However, I haven't played the vinyl yet. I played the CDs, but I saw another video by someone, and I forget who it was, who got the LP set as a gift also. And he said that one of the vinyl sides was skipping all over the place. I'm getting a feeling there's quality control. You know, folks, more and more and more, you're going to find out as I talk about it on my channel here and there. I am getting more into CD again, out of vinyl. I don't know, people. It's really time for me to stick with CD for a lot of things. I still collect Beatles and solo Beatles vinyl, but when it comes to playing, I'm playing CDs for the most part. Hello, Conga Man. I know I didn't get the Abbey Road green vinyl. I do not buy everything anymore. Can't afford to, but even if I could afford to, I've just gotten to the point where mentally, at the age that I am and everything, I just feel like I don't want nor need everything. So I don't get everything when it comes to a release. So there you go. Did I see the casting for the 4 Beatles wives for the Sam Mendes Beatles biopics? I saw a photograph recently of everybody, the 4 Beatles and the wives. I don't know. A lot of these, I don't see it. I just don't see it. It's visually hard to place these faces with the actual real faces of the Beatles themselves and the people in their lives, you know. So there you go. CD for you too. Yeah. Bad quality is just one reason I don't buy reissues. Now, I don't. Whenever I feel bad, you know, every time, Robbie, I say that I'm not that big into vinyl anymore, because there you go. I know you love vinyl, and I mean, I do too, but mostly, I guess, older vinyl. I'm not thrilled with. I've never been, ever been thrilled with brand new vinyl, really, for the most part. You know, I don't know. I know vinyl sometimes improves these days, but I think newer vinyl. When I say newer vinyl, I mean, like, say, 21st century vinyl. I don't think it's always that great. A defective vinyl is why I buy CDs. Now, I'm told that CDs are making a comeback pretty big. In my record store, I talked to them about it, and they say, well, it seems like CDs are really getting popular again. So there you go. The girl they casted to play Patty Boyd has the same rabbit teeth that she had. Wow. Well, you can try to get as close as you can, I suppose. Hello, Lila. Would be great for the distributors in these big sets to see the designs and the manufacture, and they are handled in production so expensive, but so quickly impossible, carelessly put together. Yeah. One thing, Mr. Blood Vessel, I've never had, and I will never have, is a audio cassette Desire. They're small. They're too small. To forget to get nice artwork. At least the compact disc, even though it's a 5-inch disc instead of a 12-inch LP, at least with the CD, you can still see a square picture and a nice decent size. But there's that, and also, of course, I don't like forwarding the tape on a cassette, rewinding the tape on a cassette. Baloney. Never liked cassettes. I collect some for collecting reasons, but I don't for playing. I'm not interested. If one has Abbey Road in their collection, what's the advantage to buying the re-release? Well, that's up to the individual. It's the novelty of having Abbey Road on green vinyl, say, in this case. In some cases, maybe the mastering is better, the sound is better. In some cases. Never leave a cassette on your dashboard in the car. Don't ask me how I know that. Well, I think my mind can figure that one out, I think. And the cassette tapes get jammed as well. They break. Every little thing falls out. The little foam piece in the middle. Okay. I love the Mamas and Papas hits. They help define the 60s sound for me. Your thoughts? My thoughts are that I like the Mamas and Papas hits. Yes, very much. I'm a fan. And there's a case where I've heard some of their albums, especially that one, If You Can Believe Your Eyes and Ears, which has other tracks that I like on it that's not even hits, that aren't really hits. But one hit of theirs that I can't stand is I Saw Her Again. I just don't like that song. It's the only one I don't like of theirs. Once you watch the movie, do you check other people's reviews of the same movie to see if they have the same opinion as you? Yeah, that's something that I do like to do. You know, I'm interested in movies, and depending on what the movie is, I do go and I check out and say, well, what's the consensus here? Anybody agree, disagree? Yeah, when it comes to movies, I am very interested. And of course, I have a movie channel. So don't forget to go over and join that movie channel. Mr. Cinemayo. What's that? What's that? You say you don't know what that means? Cinemayo? Well, there it is down there. Most of you watching this, I'm sure, already belong to it. But I'm trying to get some horror type movies up for this month of October. And I've gotten a few. And I've got another one coming soon. A movie I watched. So there's that. All right. So I'll leave that on just for a little bit. Okay, Conga Man says, I think this 4-movie biopic is a huge mistake. Yeah, I don't get the whole thing with 4 movies, but maybe when they come out, we'll understand a little more of why they did 4 movies. I know it's supposed to be from a different Beatles perspective and this, that, and the other thing. I don't know. And I know that one movie, one movie is not enough. You really need a mini series when you're talking about the Beatles, right? You know, it's not really enough, one movie. I Saw Her Again by Mamas and Papas is an abrasive song, in my opinion. For me, it's just, I don't like the melody, the structure of the song. I just don't like anything about it. Yeah, they do I Call Your Name, and that version's okay. Different, it's very different. Yeah, by the way, these Beatle movies, the 4 Beatles movies everybody's talking about, these are due for release in 2028 now. I mean, we're talking about 3 years away, so that's why I don't really like talking too much about these, because we don't know anything. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with talking about the pictures that have been circulating of the cast members, and what do you think of the looks of the cast, and do they feel like the real Beatles, and why it's... No, that's a different thing. Hi, George. Music for all 4 seasons. You know, it's funny, George. I was going through my records. I sold some records today. I hate to say this. I really like Tom Petty. I love Tom Petty. And I sold, I don't know how many, 7 or so vinyl LPs in the shrink wrap. Some of them had hype stickers, and it's like, gone. I made $100 on them. And, of course I took a loss. Of course I took a loss for sure. I took a big hit. But the way I look at it is that's $100 that was just hanging out here being hoarded. I don't use that word that often, but when it comes to a lot of my vinyl, being transparent about it, a lot of the vinyl was vinyl hoarding. Enough of that. No matter how much I get rid of, it'll still be some of that going on, Okay. I Saw Her Again was written by John Phillips about Denny and Michelle's affair. I didn't know that. We disagree. I like the song, no offense. And I also hate the mistake when they do. I saw her, and somebody sings, I saw her, and it comes in too soon. They got to wait. I saw her again. It's like, listen, come in on time, I've always heard that was a mistake that was left in, Well, that's the way I look at it. But George, I'm sorry. Here's where I was going with that. But as I'm going through my records, I got a lot of 4 Seasons albums. Frankie Valli and the 4 Seasons. But, there's certain types of albums that for whatever reason, because of their vintage, or whenever they're from, or they make me feel good to have them. I don't really know. But besides the point, if I was to sell my 4 Seasons albums, I don't think I would get a lot for them. Quite frankly, no offense. What release did you most look forward to getting, and what release did not inflame your interest at all and still doesn't? I have no interest in the Paul McCartney CDs that have come out. Are they from Japan? The current group of CDs that are out again. That's what we're talking about. I've got these albums on vinyl a couple of times. I got them on the archive series. Geez, and I also have no interest, which I'm getting rid of, and I'm not buying anymore, in the vinyl. Was it? Wow, forget with the Obi strip on the side. Half Speed Masters. I'm done with those. Gone. I didn't care. It's a lot. I can tell you a lot of things I wasn't interested in. As far as what I'm most looking forward to getting, I was looking forward to. Let's see. Well, the John Lennon "Power to the People" I was looking forward to. I got that already. But in the future, I'm looking forward to hearing Anthology 4. I want to hear the Beatles outtakes and sessions that we haven't heard yet. I'm looking forward to that much so. Let's see. I'm looking forward to Ringo's next album, which is supposed to be out next year, because I loved his country flavored album called Look Up from this year. That was so good. Really, 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 really looking forward to the next Ringo album, which is supposed to be the same kind of formula, working with T-Bone Burnett and stuff. I put up a short of Don at my record store. His female friend, his friend Betty, was yelling at him. So I couldn't get involved, but 11 seconds worth of footage of that is on there. Poor guy. That's why I called it poor. I meant poor Don, like sympathies. Yes, Bill. We talked about this already. Yes, 79 years old. Okay. Congratulations on meeting Sean. Thank you very much. It was so cool. And he was so great. He was such a nice guy, so down to earth, so willing to talk with everybody. It was great. Thank you. I loved it. The direct metal mastering sound really good. There you go. That's another thing. Of course, waiting for Paul McCartney's new album. Absolutely. We don't have a release date on it or anything. I think it's a pretty safe bet. We're going to wait to 2026 for it at this point. But I'm looking forward to it. I keep saying every time it comes up, it seems like he's been working on this a long time. And the same producer is working with him that was on the excellent Rolling Stones album, Hackney Diamonds. I know his name is Watt. Is it Andrew Watt? I forget now. But, you can only retain so much here as you get all this information and get older. But so anyway, I'm looking forward to the new Paul album very much, and I hope it's good. I think he's spending a lot of time on it because he wants it to be good. Do you have an original LP Gate full copy? Let It Be from 1970? Of course I do. Yes. You call it a red apple, I call it an orange apple. I'm the only guy in the world that calls the apple or brown or something, But yeah. So let's see. Hello, Cherry Carter. I've been on a road trip over 3,000, etc. I missed so much. All right. Well, whenever you can get back into it. Hi, Mike Bass. Was Sean excited to finally meet the Mr. Mayo? Look, all I can tell you is I got 2 pictures where he's smiling with me, and there's a lot of pictures where he doesn't smile. Now, I'm not saying he's not a happy guy. He just seems a lot of times in the pictures he likes to just kind of keep a serious face. And I think he jokes around, and so I got one where he's kind of going like, he's smiling in one picture, another picture he's going like, I think he just likes that. But anyway, yeah, all I could tell you about that is I was amazed that when I went in there, I saw him talking to a couple of people, and I didn't want to intrude on his conversation, but I waited till he was done. And then as I approached him, he recognized me because he does watch some videos on here. And he was like, "Oh, it's that. Hey, nice to meet you. So glad to see you. Thanks for coming." And he like reached out to me, and I really thought it was fantastic. There you go. It's just, what can you say? It's great. Now, PK. I said it right this time, right, bud? PK. There you go. Oh, I see. You're talking to the other person. I'm sorry. I don't want to intrude in a private conversation. You're talking with Lila there. Okay, My Power to the People box set was scheduled to deliver today, but now it has been changed to Wednesday. Why can't pre-orders get delivered on release date? Irritating. Yeah, believe me, I'm so thankful that the Lennon estate sends me stuff, but there's plenty of times too where other things I have to order, and I'm in the same boat when that happens. I have to order stuff, and it's not always on time. Whether it's the Beatles, whether it's Paul, George, Ringo. Yeah. All right, everybody, we're going to take a sip of water here. Let's see. Yeah, well, the way that I do things is I'm very happy, I'm proud, and I think I should be, but I do not go around putting airs on or being stuck up or anything. I'm very proud of myself. I started out just as a 13 years ago on a channel where it wasn't even all Beatles. It was collecting vinyl really, and now it gets to the point where you're able to get invited to an event like that, and I don't go around bragging or acting stuck up or anything, but I am proud and I'm grateful. You know, the Elvis estate doesn't send me squat. Yeah, well, I don't know. I really think the other estates, the Harrison estate, McCartney, not the estate, but what the McCartney people could really take a page out of the Lennon's book and really try to get in on that a little bit. But yes, Charlotte, yes, Sean's girlfriend, believe that's the name, was there. Yes, indeed. And I did not get a picture with her, and but she was there. Yeah, thanks, George. It was great. Hopefully there are more to come. I don't know. I'm not gonna think it's already a done deal. Anything can change in the next year or the year after. But I'm just grateful that I went to that affair. It was good. So well, I asked him how I said, how's mom doing? And I wasn't the only one to ask him that. The poor guy. I mean, everybody's going to ask him the same questions, but he just said she's doing pretty good. She's okay, kind of thing, and that she's in her early 90s and she's slowing down, but she's okay, that kind of thing. Too bad Yoko couldn't be there. Yeah, I'm sure had this been years ago, she would be there. Yeah. I listened to the hybrid. John on well. Imagine his voice at 85. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what that would be like. In the complete Beatles documentary, Jerry Marsden does say that Brian Epstein knocked the scouse out of his artist. Yeah, right. I remember him going, Aki Daki. He has that voice. It was sort of Aki Daki. I remember him saying that. Yeah. The only thing I know about Ringo's next album is it's going to be kind of like Look Up 2. It's going to be the same flavor because this album, Look Up, is so good. And it was so well received by fans and critics. So I'm happy for Ringo. And I would imagine that, the next one is going to be pretty good too, I hope. It's just supposed to come out next year. I remember Ringo saying, actually, he was interviewed recently. And what did he say? He said something like early next year, but who knows for sure. The record company might say we want it in January or something. I don't know, but just look for early next year, I would think. And I am looking forward to it because Look Up is my second favorite now of all Ringo's albums. Ringo's released 20 albums or more, whatever. It's my number 2 album out of Ringo's albums. Tony D, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Okay, Tony's just got the 2 LP hybrid show. Let me know how it is, and let me know also, anybody out there listening to this, if you have the LP version, vinyl, let me know if there's any quality control issues, because so far I've heard a couple of people say that there are skips on this. I'm not trying to, crap on it. I just want to know, is it something that's common? I'm excited to see the new ninth episode of Anthology. That era of footage has only been seen heavily edited, so I can't wait to see it receive the Get Back treatment. Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be um, George, Paul, and Ringo just doing more work on together and jamming and working, I guess, in the studio. I did not mention yet. John Lodge of the Moody Blues passed this morning. I did a show with my friend Danny on my other channel, and on my other channel he mentioned it. So yes, I'm not sure it's okay to acknowledge here. I don't mind that at all. But us Scousers do watch through our fingers movies or shows where actors pretend to talk Scouse. It's horrible. Always dread a Beatle movie. See, I don't know. Like, I can't do a good British accent. I can't. But I was thinking of doing a video all in a British accent. I was thinking of doing that. But okay, my 2 LP, Power to the People, is okay. Great. Made in Germany. Yeah, as I think they all are. No, Sherry, I've never seen Julian in concert. No, I have not. You weren't allowed to be regional in variety in the 60s, and Eppie knew that. That's why the Beatles had to be polished to get on in the industry in the UK. Okay. I saw James McCartney and Danny in concert. That's cool. Yes, you need to do a British accent video. That would feel like a vintage Mayo video. I don't know. Sometimes I think that there's an edge. This is my joke here. This is a joke. Sometimes I think, sometimes I think that I'm doing the Beatles accent. Sometimes I think there's an edge, in doing a British accent. I think if I did my channel in a British accent, maybe I'd get more views and there'd even be more people at these, possibly here when I do one of these live streams, possibly. How's that? I'm just observing, Paul LeGrand, Beatley Tone, and Dixon, and Beatle Dave, it's great having an accent, There's different kinds of accents, aren't they? Yeah, it's called accent, What kind of accent is this? It'll just go like that, There's different kinds of accents. You may not do a British accent, but I love you, Archie Bunker. That's great. Oh, I don't know about that. Do all the Beatles members sound different to you? Yes, they do. After all these years of me being a fan, 60 years or whatever it's been, 60 years, because I've been a fan since I'm 3. And if I haven't picked up on their voices yet, I may never be able to. I think older artists like Dylan and Neil Young are releasing way too much from their archives. Every scrap is not necessary. Your thoughts? Well, I don't know. I like Neil Young, but I don't know all his stuff, nor do I know all his archive stuff. God knows. I don't know any of his archive stuff. Dylan, I know some of his archive stuff. I don't know if it's too much. And with Dylan, I don't have all the bootleg series archive things that were released so far. I have some, not all, but I do think it's a great thing. I like that Scouse. The first time I went to Liverpool, I always had to ask, please, what did you say? But after a few pints, it was okay. Been there 5 times. Whose concert do you find more entertaining, Ringo or Paul? I can't say one or the other. I know that's the cop-out, cheap, safe answer, but it's honest. I don't know. Well, I probably enjoy Paul a little more because it's Paul McCartney, but Ringo's always entertaining too. I'd enjoy Ringo more if he would change up his all-stars. I always say one of the best draws of a Ringo show, the All-Star Band, was that he would always get different stars in there every time, every tour. Now he's done the same songs with the same All-Star Band. How long has it been? At least 12 years or something like that. Somebody may know the exact answer to that. 12 to 15 years. It's a long time. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I hear what you're saying there, huh? I love this Sinatra Hoboken accent. Sounds so American Italian. Yeah. Ringo is the most scouse, whereas Harrison McCartney are the poshest. Hello, Richard James. The Beatles should release a lot more archives. Well, I don't know how much they have, how much stuff they have, but I listened to Stars on 45 for the first time in a long time. I thought those Dutch singers sounded very similar to the Beatles. Yeah, I remember the Stars on 45, but God, I haven't heard those in a long time. I do not like Weird Al Yankovic. He's got some songs that are humorous, that are clever and funny, but I don't think he's all everybody cracks him up to be. And I think I always say whenever he comes up, I always say I was doing that. My friends and I were doing that. We used to put song records on and sing funny lyrics and change the words into a tape recorder, and we used to make cassette tapes of that stuff long before we ever heard of Weird Al Yankovic. So I don't think he does anything that's so special. That's what I think of him. Yeah, we talked about this already, Tony. Yes, indeed. Diane Keaton just died, age 79. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Everybody we know, everybody we've known for years. And we Scousers seem to talk too fast. And when we chat to a tourist, we realize we need to slow down. Many a time I have given them direction to Matthew Street while taking a breath. I wonder what you sound like. I'd like to hear you, Lila, sometime. My top 5 artists are Beatles and solo. Sinatra is my number 2. I've got tons of Sinatra. What are your top artists? Just off the top of my head, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Tom Petty, Joan Jett. I think those are my main one. You know, Simon and Garfunkel, Bob Dylan, Elvis. I mean, pretty good there. I'll put, I don't have much to say. I just found out about Diane Keaton before I started this live stream. I may make a video over on my movie channel, but I don't really have much to say other than I knew her from Woody Allen movies and other movies too, not just Woody Allen, The Godfather, and this movie Shoot the Moon, that I saw. So there you go. All right, folks. Taking a little breather here while I wait for more comments. Are you excited for the new Elvis concert film called Epic? I hope that gets a Blu-ray release with bonus footage. Actually, I'm not at all excited about it. I do like Elvis. When it comes out, I'll probably see it. But I'm not overly excited about it. But David Bowie's not on my list. I like some Bowie stuff, but he's not been a favorite of mine. Looking for Mr. Goodbar. That's another one. Of course, all the Woody Allen movies. He was in so many Woody Allen movies. That was the wonder of Brian Epstein. He knew how the industry worked, no matter how good the Beatles songs were about to be. If they were 4 scruffs, they would have had no chance. What's my favorite Stone song? That is impossible. It's funny that I can say that my favorite Beatles song is She Loves You, but I can't come up with my favorite Stone song because there's so many. I really don't know. I mean, there's just way too many. 19th Nervous Breakdown, Mother's Little Helper, Painted Black. Yeah, I could go on and on forever with Stone songs too. Beatles songs too. I mean, She Loves You is not my only favorite Beatles song, of course, but I don't have anything that's my clear favorite. Did I say Ruby Tuesday? I think I did. I don't know. I can't remember. Get Off My Cloud. I'd have to think about that someday. Get Off My Cloud, and later on, I do like Miss You. Like I said, I like Beast of Burden. I would never get any Beatles tattoo. No tattoos. I am against tattoos. It's not my thing. Let's see. At a listening party, does everyone actually get to listen to the music, or they just talk? We had like a presentation that I don't know how long it was, about an hour maybe. We went into the a Dolby movie theater, and we saw film and with sound of the stuff, and a lot of it was talking, and that's where I got to talk to people like Sean Lennon, and I got to talk to uh, Bob Gruen, photographer. I got to talk to Simon, who is in charge of all the stuff, and also from Elephant's Memory, Gary Van Syok, I got to talk to, and I'm going to be doing an interview with him this month. I have, I got, we exchanged information and stuff, and I'm going to do a Gary Van Syok interview later this month. It's coming up soon. Jumpin' Jack Flash, there you go. Pumping Vinyl, hello to you. Have a good weekend. So many, but Painted Black, because it was so ahead of its time, like a 90s grunge song. Yeah, I mean, I love like Play with Fire. Try to think. Oh, geez, I just can't. Someone's 2,000 Light Years from Home, and You Can't Always Get What You Want. I like both of those as well. I'm not getting the Abbey Road on green vinyl. No, I'm not. And out of the Ringo colored vinyl that's out there, I'm only interested in the Ringo album with the Molten Lava Red. And I'm interested in the purplish, I forget what it was called, something Waves, Psychedelic Waves for Goodnight Vienna. Those only two. And even those, honestly, if I don't get those two Ringo albums, I'm not going to be that upset. I like some of the Stones' latest songs, but Hot Rocks is my go-to collection. Yeah. Well, I like Hot Rocks, and I like Rewind. Oh, I love Emotional Rescue. The song Emotional Rescue. I love it. I don't give a damn. Whatever it says, disco. I love Emotional Rescue. One of my favorite Beatles songs is This Boy, because the harmonies are awesome. Yeah, they are. And Rain as well. Yep, it's hard to go wrong with the Beatles. Really. I think Hey Joe by the Leaves is miles better than the Hendrix rendition. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the Hey Joe by the Leaves unless I hear it, and then I know. Hope they released Power to the People, the video, the two shows. They are. It was confirmed at this party. There were some Q&A questions, and actually, it wasn't thrown to the audience. It was just the moderator. And I'm wondering if the questions weren't thrown out there to the audience because they didn't want to really ask questions about the missing song. I wonder. But it was said that the videos from Power to the People will be out next year in 2026, followed by the Walls and Bridges deluxe set in 2027. It will be sad when we lose Woody, and especially how the news media will concentrate on that one subject. His movies will be secondary. Well, I've seen Woody Allen now on two different substantial interviews, new interviews. And one of them was with Bill Maher, I believe. And Woody Allen put all that to bed. I love how secure he is in that, how he knows it's all bull, how it was all a big lie. And I love how he handles it, If I have to think about my favorite Lennon, first favorite vocal, Beatles or otherwise, it's hard. Twist and Shout it comes to mind. Money, That's What I Want. The Rockers, Money and Twist and Shout are two of the best Lennon vocals. Any of that really hard rock and stuff like that. I'm trying to think. More like. I love John's vocals all through the Plastic Ono Band album. I think the first album's got some of his best vocals on there. So I go along with the whole album there. This Boy is a great song. Yes, it is. It was supposed to be a remake, but it didn't hit the spot like This Boy. Yeah, it's like a redo in a way of This Boy. I love watching Woody Allen's very early stand-up routines. He's so ahead of the field. The Bob Dylan of comedy. Yeah, I like him in the movies. I don't really see that much, that I enjoy on stand-up when it comes to Woody Allen. Really excited for the 1965 outtakes on Anthology 4-2. Probably my favorite era. I have to agree with you there. I think I'm the most excited of all about the outtakes. So just give me a fist pump on that, because
This is for
that's not a fist pump. That's what I like. Yeah, we agree on that. I'm very excited about hearing outtakes of some of the 64, 65 stuff on there. I almost ended the stream. My God, I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm pressing the wrong button almost. Jeez. All right. Woody's joke about his dad, selling him his pocket watch to Woody on his deathbed is superb. I do like the Kinks. Yeah, I do. I mean, the Kinks are up there too. I like the Kinks. Yes. Favorite Yoko song on this Power to the People set? That's tough. Let's see. I mean, not because I don't have one. I have a few, honestly. I'm going to tell you, Sisters Oh Sisters is probably my favorite Yoko song. It's a new, what they call the ultimate mix of it. That's probably out of this package, my favorite song. There's a song called Move On Fast that I like very much from the live concert that was on Approximately Infinite Universe, the album. And I like Born in a Prison very much. I like We're All Water. The more I listen to Julian's music, the more I like it. He's got some great stuff, Julian. I like a lot of his stuff. Very good. Yeah, Watching the Wheels is a great John vocal. I agree with you there. No, they're going to release the entire, as I understand it, 1-to-1. When I say entire, I wonder, well, they're not going to have that song in it. They're going to cut out the woman's song, I'm sure. But it's going to be the 1-to-1 concerts, meaning it's going to be the concerts straight, no talking heads in it. If there are, that's news to me. If they do put the talking heads in it, that's complete news to me if they do that. Okay, over the years, I've come to believe that Mia Farrow is a little flaky. I wouldn't take her accounts of things as factual. Well, over the years, I've come to believe that Mia Farrow has proven herself to be a lot flaky. I used to think she was a little flaky all along, but now I think she's a lot flaky. And as far as the accounts of factual or not, all I can tell you is I'm no expert in this case, but I know that Woody Allen took and passed a lie detector test, and Mia Farrow refused to take a lie detector test. That tells me all I need to know. Well, there's two things. Number one, if she was of age, of legal age, she's not underage. And number two, they're not blood related. And, the funny thing is, they've had a successful marriage and relationship now for how long? 35 years? Over 30-something years? Sounds like it worked out to me. Now, I'm the first one. I say it doesn't really, it's cringe in the sense that maybe it doesn't sound, it's not typical. It's unusual. You know what I mean? I would go after Jerry Lee Lewis before I went. The new picture of you and Sean looks great on your cover photo. I love that picture. Yeah, my friend Robert S. took that picture, and I like it. Thank you. Mad to think that Mia Farrow was married to Sinatra. Dean Martin, on hearing they got married, Dean said, "I've got older bottles of wine." First time I heard Julian's Too Late for Goodbyes, I thought it was an unreleased song from John. By the way, it's a great song. I agree. Too Late for Goodbyes is probably my favorite Julian song. So it's very good. Okay. If I have to bet, I put my money on the hybrid CD version of Power to the People as a Blu-ray. Did Sean sign anything? Well, not that I know of, unless somebody had an experience with him. The whole thing is, when I went there, I realized this wasn't just like some fan convention kind of situation where you just go, "Oh, Sean, can I have your autograph? Can I have your autograph?" It wasn't like that. It's just, you go there and you You try to act dignified and mature, and just be serious and business. Business like isn't the right term, but respectful. Professional. And there you go. I mean, what can I say? There was somebody. I'm not. I don't want to spread it. Somebody that wasn't exactly that mature. I thought I'm not going. But yeah, no, if I have a choice anyway, if there's a celebrity that I personally like and admire, I'd always prefer a picture together rather than an autograph. If I have a choice, you don't always have a choice. I wonder who gets the giant lenticular picture. Well, I heard that Beatley Tone wanted one. I just watched a little bit of Beatley Tone's Beatles channel, and he wanted one. He went to one of these in England. Sean wasn't there, I don't believe, but I wish Sean would put out a regular rock type album. Avant-garde is not always enjoyed by the masses. I've never met Julian. No. Would like to, but I never have. Who knows? Maybe one of these days Julian will be at one of these functions. That would be nice. Julian and Sean are very close, I heard that Mia Farrow's son, Rowan, is Frank Sinatra's son. I don't know how true that is. Well, I don't, only from what I've heard. Isn't he the one that looks a lot like Frank Sinatra? There's one that looks a lot like Frank Sinatra, I'll tell you, even though I'm really only a Mets fan, I only really have an interest in baseball if the Mets are in it. And even there, I have, Pumping Vinyl, I haven't watched a baseball game all year. I haven't. The Mets were doing really good in the beginning, and I knew they disappointed everybody, and that's what they did. But yeah, I really don't have a say. But let's put it this way: I would go for the Brewers just because the Cubs are kind of like they could be an arch nemesis for the Mets. How about if I say Brewers? What do you think? How do you feel about that? There you go. Let's go Cubs. If I had met a celebrity, I would not know what to say. I'd be too impressed. I know they are human like me, but still. Well, that's the thing, Sean made you feel very comfortable, down to earth. And most of what we talked about during the evening was just regular small talk. How's mom doing? Happy birthday. How does it feel? Him saying, "Oh, I don't feel 50. I feel young. What's this 50 stuff?" He says, "I still feel like I'm younger than in my 20s." And I said, "Don't worry about it." I said, 60. It's 60 that really is the bigger one. Talking about age, talking about how's the mom doing. A little bit about music now. And I keep saying nobody's asked me in this particular thing, but when he first saw me, he remembered. He obviously watches my channel. He told me that he watches my stuff. That doesn't mean he watches every video. Doesn't mean he's here now watching, but he does watch, and he saw the video. Of course, I knew this. The video that I made at first when I heard that the Woman song was not going to be on the upcoming album, I pulled no punches, and I said that I was disappointed. I put it mildly. And the first thing he did was when he saw me, he said, "Hey, thanks for coming." He said, "Listen, I got to tell you," and I won't say everything, but the gist of what he said was he felt like he wanted to tell me, explain to me about the song. And, he really wanted the song. Sean wanted the song on there. And, I'm not at liberty to say a lot more, but you could figure it out. I mean, the idea is that I'm going to let them talk publicly about it, if they want. As far as I know, they haven't yet. But the fact that he saw my video and felt like, hey, listen, I just want to talk to you tell you what happened here. It wasn't me. I really wanted to do it. It's like, you don't owe me an explanation, but he kind of like watched my video. And I just think that's pretty cool. He wanted to talk to me about it. So that's what I'm saying. Very comfortable. very comfortable, very easy to talk to. Um, did you ever think when you start all this you'd become part of the Beatles circle? No, I didn't. I don't know. Again, I'm modest about it. I don't think I'm part of a Beatles circle, at least not at this point. I got invited to one event, for the John Lennon release, Uh, okay, there you have it there, straight from Henry. There's another one. Looks like a young Sinatra. I'm pulling for the Brewers after the Phillies choked. Okay, hi, Frank's Music. Are there any interesting jams that really stuck out in this box set from the bonus material? No, actually. I don't expect you to watch my whole review. My whole review of it was an hour long. But I would say I'm personally not a fan of jamming, especially when the jamming is very improv and just anything goes and whatever comes to mind. I'm not really a big fan of that. I didn't really love the jams. You know what I mean? For me personally, I'd have to go back and look at the list to see which ones stuck out. There might have been one or two that stuck out, but I don't remember. And this just goes to show you those clueless people out there that think just because we get gifted these sets, we praise everything and we love everything. I didn't care about the jams, honestly. There's a lot of other stuff in the box I liked a lot, but that's just my personal taste. Oh, that would be nice. That would be really nice, Matchstick Man, but that's a ways away. Was there food and drink there? Well, the thing is that my friend Robert and I, we had an early dinner. Before we went in there, we had an early dinner across the street. There was a restaurant, so we weren't even thinking about food. As for whether I saw people with drinks, and I saw some people with drinks. I didn't get anything, but I wasn't even interested in that. I was there for the event and to say hi to Sean and talk to him and talk to the others. So I didn't care about that. I know there was some birthday cake afterwards. There was a birthday cake for Sean, and I had a little piece of that before we left. Oh, definitely. I'm thrilled. I heard that. I didn't know the Yankees were out until I asked yesterday somebody, are the Yankees out? They said yes. I said, yeah. No, I have not heard Sean's cover of Give Peace a Chance, I've heard very little of James McCartney singing, and nothing, what I have heard, nothing jumped out at me. Tonight on Svengoolie is Them. Yeah, I'm not going to watch that. It's a film about giant ants called Them. But I have that on Blu-ray, so I still have to get to that Blu-ray. I got a whole box of Blu-rays to watch. That would be easier for me when the celebrity made the first step. Maybe I look up too much to them. Well, like I said, I was blown away by that. It was such an honor for for him to say hi to me because he recognized me. I think that's pretty amazing. I did not get Denny Seiwell's biography. No, I did not. Again, I'm not complete with everything all the time. No offense. I think Denny's a great guy, and I think that he's an exceptional drummer. If they want suggestions for the Power to the People, the Blu-ray sleeves were too tight, and the ticket pack had strings with knots, leaving an imprint on the book cover. There you go. I hope they see that. I'll give Sean an email tonight. I like the song "That's Life." I don't know a lot of Sinatra songs, honestly. He does, he's done a lot of different kinds of songs and covers and things like that. And maybe "That's Life." My Way. I like the song "My Way," and Frank Sinatra's version of "My Way" is my favorite. Sorry, Elvis. There you go. There's your answer, Henry. I always thought it was crazy when you hear Michael Jackson owns all the Beatles music. What a weird thing. Like Sean has no control over his dad's tunes either. I don't know the whole deal with that. Yeah. I'm hoping for a Cubs Mariners World Series so me and my brother can attend the game together. So I guess you want the Cubs or we're You're in Nebraska, aren't you? If I'm not mistaken. I don't know geography from shit, so I don't really know who would you be rooting for. Ideally, who would you like to see win the World Series? Did anyone ask Sean when the final batch of Yoko's reissues will be? Well, see, the thing about that is, a lot of people talk to Sean. I don't know if anybody else asked that. I don't know everything everybody said to him when they chatted with him, so I don't know. But there was nothing during the Q&A. Nothing was raised. The actual Q&A, nothing was raised about it. As in listening party, what was the sound system like? Well, I'm not really technical. I can tell you it was Dolby, and I can tell you it was a movie theater with phenomenal sound, just phenomenal loud and clear and crisp sound, and a movie screen. That's the best I can tell you. The world has known Sean since his birth, seen him and grow up. See, at one time I said that too. You were there over the course of the evening. You didn't just talk to him once. There were times when Sean would be there and 5 people would be in a circle around him. Time he'd be there, 2 people would be there. Other times, 1 person. Sometimes nobody, and he was free. And you go up to him and say hello again. So you're able to talk to him. I talked about 4. I made 4 trips to talk to Sean over the course of the evening, 4 or 5 trips. And anyway, at one point I said, yeah, seeing you like that since you were a kid and blah, blah, blah. So we did mention that, but for what it's worth. Is it true that Pete Best once gave me COVID? The answer to that is I have no idea. My whole thing with that is I went to meet Pete Best, and I went to a convention. I forget where it was now. I had to take a drive to get there. And when I got there, I saw his brother Rogue outside. He was going out to have a smoke. So I said, hey, nice to meet you. And I kind of shook Rogue's hand. And I thought, no offense, I thought Rogue's hand was a little like clammy. And I'm like, that was a little weird. Was Rogue sick? I don't know. Who knows? But then later on, of course, I met Pete Best. The whole thing is that I heard that Pete Best got COVID the same time I did. So either I gave him COVID or he gave me COVID. Or somebody else gave us both COVID. So I have no idea. I just tell that as a joke because I don't really know. Hello, Douglas. How are you? I like some of the swing songs too, The songwriter should own their own song rights. Yeah, I like that too. I'm a Seattle fan. Who does my my mother likes. No, my brother's a Cubs fan. We're both from Nebraska, which means we all pick our own pro teams. Very good. Being a Brady Bunch fan, do you think prom night would have been better since Eve Plum was the first choice, not Jamie Lee? I hate that movie, Prom Night. I enjoy slasher films from the 80s. Prom Night was a boring movie. I had nothing to do with the actress. I had nothing to do with the cast, From what I listened to so far I keep wanting to say press to play, power to the people. The sound is fantastic compared to the original releases. Yeah, what they were able to do with the new mixes for the songs that were on the Sometime in New York City album, minus the missing song, was phenomenal. Phenomenal. The sound is phenomenal. Everything's improved for the most part. Do you like the holiday season? This is my favorite part of the year when you get Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. No, it's my least favorite time of the year. I like October because I like Halloween. And the month of October, you can talk about monster movies. You talk about horror. Talk about Halloween shit. And it's good because it's legitimate. It's legitimized because this is Halloween month. Once we get past Halloween, I don't like November. I don't like December. I don't like January. I don't like February. And I'm lukewarm on March. I like April 1st to Halloween. That's my time. April 1st to October 31st. The rest of it you could have. Now, it's not that I'm a Grinch. I mean, there's certain aspects of Christmas that I enjoy, but when I was younger, it was different. When you were a kid and there's Christmas, and not just when I was a kid, but Christmas was always a big family bash. You know, a lot of my family are dead or they've moved away, and it's a smaller affair that, just, I don't know, Christmas. And because I worked for the post office, you could imagine the Christmas rush with Christmas cards and packages and Amazon and deliveries. I always despised Christmas at the post office. So there you go. Okay, if the Lennon estate was holdings, every decision would be down to the estate, to them, not a music publisher. I wonder who messages Sean and Yoko. Well, like I say, I'm not at liberty to say too much about it. You could figure it out pretty much. It's not that complicated. Okay, I enjoyed your review of the movie Get Out. What did you think of the mother stirring her tea and putting the man in a trance? I like that. The movie Get Out, it's a thriller, kind of horror thriller. Check it out on my movie channel, Mr. Mayo. It's one of my newest reviews. I love that bit. I love the bit where the mom is a psychiatrist and she's a hypnotist also, and she hypnotizes the victim in here by stirring her tea softly, and every time she stirs the tea and taps the cup and stuff, he triggers a hypnotic response. I love that. Yeah. Would you recommend the 1935 Mark of the Vampire? Yes, I would. Here's the thing about Mark of the Vampire. I'm not going to say too much, spoil it too much. If you don't know anything about it, watch it. And get back to me. I want to know what you think of the ending, and I'll tell you more about it. I'll tell you more of my feelings of it. Let's put it this way. Mark of the Vampire has Bela Lugosi in it, and he's very atmospheric. It's a very atmospheric vampire film, but the ending is something else. I have not watched Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein yet. I usually like to watch it on Halloween night itself. That's usually my Halloween night movie. If I'm going to watch a movie on Halloween Eve, it's Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Love me some eggnog during Christmas. Well, I do like eggnog. I'll give you that, Henry. I do like eggnog. Saw an interview with Alice Cooper. He sees humor in horror movies just like you. Well, I don't see humor. I like it serious. But there we go. Okay, James, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm watching all the Amicus productions. Amicus is a good studio. There's a lot of good Amicus movies. Are you a fan of any of Sean's music? Did you bring a CD from this song or anything? Well, Wes, I'll tell you this, because we talked a little about this. Well, first of all, do I like any of Sean's music? The only stuff I know from Sean is stuff off the album Ghost of the Saber-Toothed Tiger. And the reason I know that, and I told Sean about this, I said to him at one point, my nephew really likes your music. My nephew once recommended to me to listen to that album, and he played some tracks off it, and I liked it. And he was very happy. He lit up, he was smiled to talk about his stuff. And that's when he said, oh, my whatever word he used, the woman who sings on there with me is right here, down there, Charlotte, and he told me Charlotte's right there, and anyway, did I bring that's the only thing that I know of his that I liked, that I haven't heard much else. Did you bring a CD? No, it wasn't an event where you're going to sign anything, it's not like everybody go mob Sean and get autographs. It's not like that. You had to be more reserved and, well, it's mature, As far as I asked how Yoko was doing, I asked, how's your mom? Said she's doing pretty good. She's getting on because she's in her early 90s and she's slowing down a bit, but she's doing pretty good. That's what he told me. And he told other people this too, because other people asked him during the course of the night. I don't, I just have to take him at his word. That's all I can do. I heard stuff about this, one battle after another, and caught stealing. I've heard about those. Is there any Halloween special features on the cinemas by you, and are you going? Well, I got to tell you something. This is fresh in my mind, so I'm pretty disappointed. There's a cinema that's going to have a double feature of Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, 2 films. I've seen that as a double feature before. They had it before. It's not the first time I've seen it, but I don't like going. I could go alone. I may still go alone. I very well may if I can't find anybody to go with me. However, I asked my friend Anthony. My friend Anthony was here yesterday, and he loves the old Frankenstein movies. So I asked him to go, and he waited a day, and he says, "Oh, I can't go. I'm not able to go." And I said, "What do you mean you're not able to go?" He says he's got to take his wife to the doctor that day. And I was on the phone. Anthony, I understand. Let me. I won't say too much, but whatever, whatever. So I don't know if I'm going or not. Let's put it that way. I walked out on a movie called Wired, which is a movie about John Belushi. I remember that's the one movie I remember walking out. I went to the theater alone to see this John Belushi movie, and it was so bad I walked out and I hated it. And it might have been one or two other ones, but I can't remember what they were for sure. I remember seeing Night of the Living Dead at the drive-in. Scary since I was young. Yeah, you know what? The movie Day of the Dead, 1985, the third in the Living Dead trilogy, was playing at the same theater where Frankenstein's going to be. I was there last night. Nobody wanted to go with me. I said, I'm not going. I mean, I've gone to movies by myself, but, it's more fun with friends. My girlfriend doesn't like horror movies, and sometimes she's got to work anyway. So there you go. Does being retired make you hate certain times of the year? Did you feel the benefit more when you were working? Being retired has made me dislike weekends, more. That's why the original title I had chosen for my lifestyle retirement channel was originally called Mayo Loves Mondays, because I like Monday to Friday because everybody's working, the kids are all in school, and it's not crowded. Stores are emptier, the roads are clearer, restaurants are more accessible, the whole thing. So being retired made me dislike weekends. But as far as times of the year, I don't know. I watched Halloween from '78 a few days ago. Really puts you in the October mood. Yes, it does. It's a Halloween movie. It definitely does. Surely, Joe, you must also love Christmas movies at Christmas. Yeah, I do like watching Christmas movies at Christmas time. I do. Yeah. Sean's speech at the Beatles Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction was priceless. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what he said. I remember it, but I'm picturing him in my mind. But I'm trying to think what he did make a joke, or I'm trying to think, didn't he? I don't remember. I suppose Anthony's wife is more important than the film. Well, I told Anthony, here's the thing. Number one, I'm not 100% sure that it's true. A lot of times when Anthony and me are supposed to get together, he says, I got to take my wife to the doctor. That's always a standard excuse. That's number one. Number two, if it's true, and I'm 75% leaning to the fact that it is true. I mean, it's nothing serious. It's just an ordinary doctor visit. And the movie is at 7:00 at night. The movie's at 7:00 at night. His wife's appointment is 2:30 in the afternoon. Okay, so I mean, come on, that's how I feel about it. By the way, my girlfriend. I'm not going to say it. She had something to do Tuesday when I got a sudden invite. I got a sudden invite to go to the Sean Lennon or Power to the People event, and I went there. And she wanted me to go there. You got to understand, my wife. I keep saying wife. My girlfriend, wife, more or less. She very much wants. She's so happy and supportive of me with the channel, with getting in touch with the Lennons. She likes all this stuff. She's the one that tells me you got to get that John Lennon cube. You need it. She's the one that tells me you got to buy the George Harrison Uber crate. Man, you need that. You're a collector. You need that. She's very supportive. She's the one that was smiling from ear to ear when I got invited to the Lennon affair. And she had to go somewhere. Ordinarily, I would have driven her. But she was happy, all too happy to volunteer to take an Uber. She was all too happy. But that's different, Lila, right? We're not talking about just a movie, a film. I mean, come on. you know. And this too. I thought of that too, Lila. Don't think I didn't think of that too. And you know I love you, Anthony, but come on, I tell you this to your face. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like the Halloween theme very much, but I hope you know it sounds very much like Psycho to me. So it's like a Psycho copy. No, she doesn't mind the old movie. It's really the gory films that she doesn't like. In fact, let's be clear. I said earlier that they played Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein in the theater several years ago. My girlfriend was happy to go with me. She went with me to see Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. The reason she doesn't want to go this time is she's seen them already in the theater. It's a second thing for her, That's why she's not interested in going. But my girlfriend's the type of person that once she finds out that Anthony doesn't want to go, maybe she would go. If she's not working she might be working at that time. Hello, James. What's going on? I know that JFK is supposed to be a 4-star film. I just have no interest in it. I just don't. I had enough about John F. Kennedy, enough about, the theories and about conspiracy, all this. I'm not interested. But I know, it's considered a great film. I know. But I just don't have the urge. Do you think it was bad taste for Stella to wear a shirt that said "about effing time" at Paul's rock and roll induction? It's all right. I'm not a prude. It's all right. I guess, it makes sense in a way. It's okay. It's cool. It's rock and roll, right? It's rock and roll, so what are you going to do? I'm okay with that. But I think, what do you mean it's about time? Paul's got a lot of accolades and a lot of awards and a lot of things. It's about effing time. The guy, cheers. The shirt didn't bother me. It was more the idea, what he's so impatient about. He's, to be frank, I guess that's to be frank. I don't know. The gory movies just simply bore me. As like your girlfriend, a good horror needs a good story and suspense, maybe a good villain, except lazy writing. Well, let's make something clear. If you ask me what my favorite movies are, or the best kind of movies, I'll tell you, I like movies with good story, good writing, and good characters. I agree with you 1,000%. But occasionally, when I just want to sit down and just let it all go and just say, I'm just going to watch a gore fest or a crazy movie. I don't want story. I'm fine. I can do that too. You see, I prefer movies with characters, good story, and suspense. I prefer it, but I can also do the other. Okay, Gary thought the T-shirt was that unnecessary that Stella wore about effing time. Well, yeah, it was unnecessary. Nothing necessary about it. There wasn't necessary, but I wasn't bothered by it. You know what I mean? Oh, right. Okay. Oh, that's right. That was it. That was a great thing. Little Sean said, he 13. He's about 13. He wasn't 13 yet. He was 12 because he's born in October. So that was January of 1988. So he was still 12 years old. And he said, I'm pretty proud to be up here for doing nothing. That's great. I don't know, Dead Man Shoes. Why do you think good rock bands are so rare today? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I always feel that, in my opinion, I know a lot of people don't like this, even though there's some good stuff now and then that I hear, I feel it's been done to death. I think it's, between the 1950s, the 1960s, the 1970s, into the 1980s, and even I'll say the 90s. I'll just say the 20th century. Leave it at that. 20th century had great rock and roll. Had great rock. I feel like all this, from the period of, say, 1900, I feel like from 1900 to 2000, and I'm giving them a break with that because I usually say the 90s it started to peter out. But I'll say the 20th century, from 1900 to 2000, that's the period when it comes to music, when it comes to movies, when it comes to television, all that stuff. Although some people would argue television, there's been a lot of good television programs, this century, people say. But I'm just saying, I feel like that's where it all sprouted. The seeds were planted. The buds came. They budded, sprouted, flourished. Sergeant Pepper and, Elvis and Sergeant Pepper and, Chuck Berry. I don't know, all this stuff, Jimi Hendrix, it all flourished. And now it's all the stale, same stuff kind of thing. No, we do not dress up for Halloween. I mean, the funny thing is we've never gone to a Halloween party. That's funny. No guests today. No, it looks like that. It looks like there won't be any guests today. There's a little bit of time out there. I mean, very little bit of time. I have to leave in like 15 minutes. So I don't really have a lot of time, but if anybody's out there and wants to come up, let me know for 15 minutes. I could even go like 20 minutes. Well, I can't go much longer than that, actually. 15 minutes. The shirt seemed to be a juxtaposition. Paul never even swore in a song. Most of his stuff could be playing softly in a nursing home with no complaints. He did use the F-bomb. There's a song called Big Boys Bickering. Well, first of all, I don't know what year that was. I forget what year Paul's induction or Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was. But in 1992, Paul has a song called Big Boys Bickering that has an F-bomb in it several times. Yes, Nick, we talked about this. Yep. Diane Keaton has passed. Any 2026 plans set in stone so far? No. Not that I could think of. I'll probably think of them after I get off here. It was great that Yoko and her daughter, Kyoko, were finally able to reconnect after all the past problems. Yes, that's a great thing. Oh, yeah, I'm going to show this. Thank you. Robert S. got some stuff at the listening party. Where is yours? I got the same thing he got. You know what I mean? So, yeah, she says, la-di-da, la-di-da. Now, hello, Spring Hill Jim. Greetings to you. You say, have you heard the tragic news about my channel? All I could say is I'm just starting to pick up on some odds and ends here. I don't know the whole thing. I don't understand the whole thing. But I heard some odds and ends. I don't, I didn't hear everything. So, great many people are mourning this great loss. I don't know the whole thing. I mean, you hear through the grapevine about somebody who was involved in this. How old is your channel now? It's 13. Well, it was 13 years old in May. It's going on 13 and a half years old. Any plans for any anniversaries? Well, no. I made a special video for my 10th anniversary when it was 10 years. Going to be live tomorrow. Tomorrow's what? Sunday? I doubt it. I have no plans to be live. Hello, Robert S. Robert S. went with me to the Lennon event. I'm listening as I upload a video to my channel. I heard my name. Want to let you know that I'm here. Very good. How is Bazooka Joe? I just saw him today, and he seems okay, but I didn't talk to him much. Does the YouTube play button not interest you, or would you love one? YouTube play button? I don't know what you mean. Sorry, I don't know what you mean. YouTube play button. Do you like listening to music now when it's getting dark earlier than during the summertime? No, I prefer. I like listening to music anytime, but there's nothing like listening to music in the good old summertime with a nice day in the car with the window down. Oh, the award you get when I'm not going to hit 100K subs. I'll tell you right now, I'm putting it down in history right here, right now. I don't believe I'll ever hit 100K subs. And you say, well, why do you say that? Well, do the math. I've been doing this for 13 years, and in 13 years I've gotten 16,000. So how long? I mean, I'm 63. In another 13 years, I'll be 76. You know, that's 26,000. No, I can't do that. 32,000. I could see getting 32,000, maybe 40,000, but that maybe 50,000 if I live long enough. I'm still doing this when I'm like 85 years old. Other than the adult ways, what do you do to relax? You're looking at it. This is one of the things I enjoy. I mean, doing a live stream is the way I relax. I like to watch TV. I mean, movies on TV. I put a movie on. Sometimes I get so relaxed that I fall asleep. Favorite restaurant to go to and why? Man, I have such like boring answers for these things a lot of times. Oh, I see what you mean. The award, the play button. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Favorite restaurant? Nah, I don't know. I don't have one. I like a lot of different restaurants. Now I know what you mean. If the YouTube play button is the award, the plaque that you get for hitting 100,000, I'd like very much to get there someday and have one. I think that would be a nice achievement. But I'm only going to do it the honest way and the real way. An award means nothing to me. There's people out there that I've heard buy subscribers. I don't know what the hell they're thinking with that. I like to know that every subscriber I get is earned and people want to subscribe. They mean nothing, if you didn't earn them and get them honestly. Whenever I need a laugh, I rewatch the video of you listening to your digital downloads. That's a great one. Yeah, that was a great funny one. I like that too. And packaging your LPs for sale, your greatest video series. Thank you. If you want to know what he means, just put in Mr. Mayo and put in digital downloads phase 1. There's 3 videos. We got to watch them in order. Digital downloads phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 in that order. I think they're called digital downloading or something like that. Put me Mr. Mayo in there. The one thing about the Hammer movies is there's no swearing, but great acting in these movies compared to today's movies. Oh, yeah. Some of the Hammer films are a little slow. You have to be able to take the pacing. Why do you think some channels get 100K? Would you say Beatles channels are a limited niche? Yeah, I would say the Beatles channels are very limited. I don't think that there's that much about that can, but other people I think got 100. I don't know how many that hologram guy's got. I think he's got a lot. I don't know if it's that many, but yeah, it's a limited niche. That's why, here I am doing that other channel, which is supposed to be not just retirement, but like living life, trying to do different things for life. That I think is more conducive to appealing to a wider range of people. But the reason that channel is not growing very much, and why is the main reason it's not growing very much, is I haven't devoted much time to making new videos for it. What channel is that, you say? This one that I need everybody here to subscribe to, if you're not already subscribed. It is Mayo's Retired Life. And if you're watching this at a later date, this channel's title may change, as I said, because I don't want people to think, young people to think it's only about retirement. It's not, it isn't. Just so you know. Did you go anywhere else in New York City, such as the Brooklyn Bridge? Not this past trip, no. Digital Downloads was a classic series. I like it. I do like it. Yeah, I know what you mean, Pumping Vinyl. He says it's not a good thing to have 40K subs and 40 views on your videos. Yeah, I get you. Where do you keep your box sets? Wherever they'll fit right now. I still hope someday I get into a bigger and better place. Over here in the corner here, where my thumb is the red. This is the new John Lennon thing, and it's just stuck with the DVDs because I have a shelf somewhere else that's jammed. I'll get to it eventually. I'll get to it. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it just may never happen. It has to be, like I said, I've been doing this 13 years. I've only got 16,000. I'm happy with it, but uh, this is the truth. What I'm going to tell you, you should learn after a while that it's not about the number of subscribers you have. It's the amount of views you have. I have like, I think 8 million views or something. I don't understand because when I go into my analytics, there's something right now that says to me, congratulations on hitting 10 million views for your channel. Then when I look at my list, I mean, whatever you call it, my description box, it says I have like almost 8 million, 7,900,000, almost, I'm about to hit 8 million. Why does it say 10 million? I don't get that. But anyway, it's more important to have the views. The subscribers are nice. The reason you want subscribers in the beginning is because you want to, maybe monetize or whatever, but it's not about the subs are important in the beginning. You want to get to 1,000 subs. Once you get to 1,000 subs, 1,500 subs, 2,000, say like that, then it's about the views. It's about the views, because you think about it, there are people that can subscribe. Like I have 16,100 subscribers. So right now, out of those 16,100 subscribers, maybe only 100 people actively watch the damn channel. You know how it is. You've all done it. You subscribe to a channel. You say, "Oh, I'll subscribe." Then you never watch again, or you disappear, or you forget about it. Most of the people who subscribe to you, they don't even watch. So that doesn't, it's important in the beginning to get yourself up there, but then, excuse me. Anyway, Yoko's dream we dream together is reality. I have to sign off any minute now, folks. I'm just going to finish up some questions here. Yeah, I don't know what I've heard mixed things about this Taylor Swift new album. I heard that the album is not really loved. Is that right? It's not really as good as her past albums. If that's true, sometimes you have to have an album that doesn't do as good, like John Lennon. Sometime in New York City didn't do well. You know what I mean? So I think you're right about this one. I definitely think you're right. That's not the best name. I would agree with you. Said when you see a new video uploaded, it's a power to the people, boxing and boxing. Yeah, I know. I got to tell you. Can I tell you the truth? I think they really gone over the top with this. Way too many free boxes were given out. I can say that, right? Because I got one, but not really. I mean, it's getting really out of control. But I personally, what I think the Lennon estate wants to kind of focus on the youth. I think they want the youth to like, look at me, I got a Lennon box. Check it out. I think that's what they're trying to do. It's about marketing. It's about you're trying to make money. You're trying to carry the torch for new generations. I think that's all important. I get it. We don't know yet, but I would bet not. But we don't know. Is this true? I recently hit over 1K subs after streaming a Taylor Swift concert with my phone. Is that true? I don't think that's true. You're kidding, right? I don't know. Let's see. The Taylor Swift album is so-so. I think it might grow on people more after a few listens. Okay, PK, and I think I said it right this time. Hello, Elliot. I'm sorry, but I'm just about to get off here. Thank you very much, Lila. I always appreciate you being here. You have a lot of good questions, a lot of good input. Thank you all for being here. It's a good time to end. I'll be back here doing this, next Saturday, I hope. Don't forget, every Friday morning. We did it Saturday this time, but every Friday morning at my other channel that I just said, Mayo's Retired Life, Friday mornings, we do the Joe and Danny show with my friend Danny. So there's that. And don't forget my movie show. One more time, I'll put this up. I do a movie show, movies and television, every Monday night. Monday night, Mr. Cinemayo. I do that with my friends Tim Allen and Tom Hanyadi. We do movie talk. And so I'm pretty busy. But that's it for now. Thank you all again. Love the comments. Love everybody chiming in. Talk soon. Have a good one. Cheers.